Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen, what is happening? Yeah, baby. New York. Will Bitcoin bring the fire? What is happening, guys? I hope you're all doing well. We've had a beautiful last few hours with cryptocurrency and the markets across the board. I hope everyone is doing well. Today's topic is going to be focusing on whether Bitcoin can bring the fire today. But we must be aware, ladies and gentlemen, you know what day it is. It's Thursday, that midweek reversal. Is it going to be the case for Bitcoin, or is the sentiment across the board just simply going to park it all and say, you know what, yippee-ki-yay to the upside, ladies and gentlemen? I hope everyone is doing very well. It's Thursday, and this is the last day I do the live streams for the New Yorkers. Tomorrow I will have the mini market maker, and just for the record, the mini market maker has been correct with all three of her projections. I simply asked her, Bitcoin up, Bitcoin down. My 4-year-old called it out perfectly. 3 out of 3, ladies and gentlemen. I now will quit trading because I know I have taught her well. Well, you know what? Nah, I ain't gonna quit trading. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well. Let's get with the program. Let's dive into price action and understand what we can expect from Bitcoin going into today's futures markets open. If you are new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe because the fire is about to begin. Let's have a conversation, guys. Okay, so let's kill the tracks right now. Here we go. One guy said yesterday, DJ turned trader. I like that. I used to DJ. That's the truth, you know? Back in the day when we're talking turntables, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking vinyls. We ain't talking about this CD stuff with all this sophistication of digital ways of manipulating music. Nah, man, straight up scratching. You know how it is. Beat matching. You know the game. All right, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. In front of us, we have Bitcoin with the bookmap. We've got a lot of commitment coming into the charts today. Now, the bookmap does serve its purpose, guys. Some people will beg to differ, but we kind of understand the liquidity that is being committed by traders, whether it's being sold into the book or not. On the right side of the chart, you will see that these are orders coming into the bookmap. Got a lot of support at 22,600 with 675 Bitcoin stacked at that zone. But before we actually dive into Bitcoin itself on the order book, we need to understand what's going on with Bitcoin inside of this zone. Now, yesterday, I did say to you guys, as long as Bitcoin maintains the narrative above the 5 and 13 EMA on the 1 hour time frame, you would be of the understanding that the momentum is coming in. It was in yesterday's live stream, okay, at the New York Open, where the 5 and 13 EMA hadn't successfully crossed over the 50 EMA. And we said it, that as long as the 5 and 13 EMA trade above the 50 EMA on the 1 hour time frame, the narrative would dictate that we are favoring higher prices, that the momentum is going to maintain itself. Now, the question that we have on our minds, ladies and gentlemen, is the 5 and 13 EMA right now are holding. The psychological high has seen a drop, rejection, and now we are anticipating the idea that Bitcoin is likely to make it towards the happy days projection zone of last week's high. Last week's high will be the one point in the chart where Mr. Market Maker is able to grab traders' attention to make them buy, but he's also got the commitment from those guys to sell into. We know the story of the delta. The delta says that when you see it increasing and it's at the highs, it's always where Mr. Market Maker is selling into premium, trapping the traders who are buying. Okay? And these are the traps. This is what they do, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we know Thursday is a bit of an interesting scenario. Wednesday saw the midweek reversal. Thursday is cryptocurrency's midweek reversal point. So the question on our minds is the following. Is Bitcoin going to continue from this point and move higher? Or is it going to come back down, retrace, and then start to falter inside of this zone? Well, let's start looking at other assets to understand why Bitcoin is always going to end up being last to move. Here we go. Not so long ago, ladies and gentlemen, we just had some news announcements from the US understanding that GDP has actually gone below estimates. They forecasted 0.4. I'm losing my voice. And it came in at minus 0.9. What does that mean? Well, let's go over to the dollar. Let's have a look at what's going on. Yippee-ki-yay, taking a nice little drop there, little dollar yen. About time you started to break down. Waiting for this bad boy to start releasing lower so we can start coming into this previous green vector candle zone in the chart. Although dollar yen itself has had a phenomenal run to the upside, ladies and gentlemen, we are screaming retrace. This is what we want. We want dollar yen to retrace back down. Now, before they do decide to do that, we've also got the issue with China, Japan, and the problem problems that are happening out there. The yen itself is so deflated, man. When is the Bank of Japan going to do anything about it? All right. So we know where we stand with dollar yen. Let's roll over to the dollar index for a second. And we can see, make sure that if you are on the dollar index, guys, change it over to capital.com, because then that way you're going to see the vector candles. And we can see that the dollar index itself is looking like it wants to try and come down and recover that blue vector candle. Sharp recovery of the red vector candle in the zone. Testing this 200 EMA going into the smaller time frames. On the 15-minute time frame, you can see that the dollar index has fully recovered this zone. And now they've come back down with a little bit of a stopping volume candle, but there's a lot of support inside of this area. News announcements has forced the dollar to go down lower, which has then given room for Euro USD to make a nice move up to the upside and recover some of the red vector candle. Now we are waiting to see if Euro USD is going to continue with its intention to move back up into this range. Now, whilst that is happening, guys, we've got the Nasdaq itself. Now, remember, the Nasdaq has done a phenomenal move to the upside. It's got the big bounce up away from the 50 EMA, a nice little W structure right here, but be mindful of watching for W's on 50 EMAs. They need to be below the moving averages, okay, and ideally coming from a downtrend. All right, now we've got this balance right here of the zone in the chart with the Nasdaq, which we would anticipate them to try and come back up into if the strength is present in the chart. The futures markets are kind of dismissing, or should I say, they're kind of dismissing the idea that the negative news from the dollar itself is not really a problem because they're looking into the future. The fact that the Fed wasn't so aggressive with its news and with the Fed rate of 75 basis points, giving us the heads up that they are actually looking to increase it later on. The next time the Fed has a conversation is in September, ladies and gentlemen. So from now until September, we are in principle only going to be relying on non-farm payrolls, more CPI data, manufacturing index, all of these indicators that come out straight away, straight figures, and they are going to tell us where the economy is right now. So we don't have to worry about the Fed for the next 3 months, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to see if the impact of this high interest rate increase is going to take its toll and start looking to reduce inflation. Rolling over to the oil itself, oil has made a nice little climb to the upside. It's recovering those vector candles that we were talking about yesterday in the stream. Now we're waiting to see if oil can maintain it. On that principle, USD CAD should be coming down, but we've got a bit of a problem with USD CAD. We've got a big vector candle right here that we may see price coming into, which could dictate that the likelihood of oil rolling over may be something that might actually happen. But looking in the chart, you can see you've got a blue vector candle right there, which if it finds resistance at the 200 EMA, it would have 50% retraced into this vector zone to only come back down and hit the liquidity down here, guys. All right. Now, let's just go over and look at some macros with Bitcoin. Let's roll over to the Glassnode to understand, are we away from capitulation, ladies and gentlemen? Here is the question. Are we away from capitulation? So let's have a look. Oh, there we go. We've now come away from capitulation. Traders are now, Bitcoin holders with net unrealized profit and losses are feeling hopeful. They are starting to feel hopeful that Bitcoin is looking to try and come back up again. All right. But you've got to remember this, guys. The move with the Nasdaq and the S&P and everything across the board, they are saying that there is a possibility in principle of the bearish market, we would understand that price is going to come up for it to only come back down and achieve one more final leg to the downside, because that's what happens in bearish markets. They work in the principle of three. We've seen it already. Look, you can see you've got drop, retrace 1, drop, retrace 2, drop, retrace 3, continuation up. That is what they are expecting in principle on the higher time frames. Now, if you are a trader as such, ladies and gentlemen, and you're looking for just intraday movements, that shouldn't really be a problem for you. Bitcoin on the daily time frame is showing promise to come up and recover this previous red vector candle. So from now up until whenever it is, Bitcoin has this range that it needs to work its way into for us to understand if they are going to move higher and come up towards that 25-26 zone. This is the only pool of liquidity in sight that they can come back towards. Okay? This is the only point. Now, yesterday's price action, nice, great strike to the upside, recovering all of this behavior right here, staying within the vector candle range. 23K is the star of the show. We're going to wait and see if Bitcoin can actually move away from this point at the open of the futures markets, which then leads me into the intraday discussion about what to expect. So guys, we know the story. When it comes to looking for intraday movement, the Brinks box in the US is the most trickiest time of day. Why? Because this is where they initiate the stops. There are people that have placed orders here And there are people that have placed orders here. There's liquidity down below, which if you correlate to the chart, you can see you've got vector candles right here. And you've also got vector candles happening up here, which are advertising that traders are stepping in happy to buy at the highest point because that's what they've been programmed to do. Okay, if we roll over to the high block itself, we can see the liquidation map levels right here in the last 12 hours. Let's roll over to here. We've got 15 minutes, guys. I need to get this information out to you. So in front of us, guys, we can see in the last 12 hours, there has been an influx of liquidity being eaten by Bitcoin. And we have approximately $600 million worth of short liquidations at the previous peak right here, which sits around the $23,250 zone. Okay, if we go into the last 7 days on that situation, we're going to have a better overview of how much liquidity is really available for Mr. Market Maker to come and eat. So look, they've already taken that 3.5 billion right there. We were talking about this a couple of days ago. The commitment down here is starting to increase. All right. Now, remember, if there is liquidity for them to grab, they will run towards it. If they've got commitment from traders to step in and buy and buy and buy, why are they going to go and make those guys pay the price? If this is going to be 3.6 billion, why can't it be 7 billion in a week's time? Because they've got the interest of traders coming in and buying. And you can see that is happening in the chart. Okay. Now we get a bit closer, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get rid of all of this stuff right here. Get rid of that. Happy days. Let's have a look at what we are going to expect from the book map, guys. I hope you're all doing well, man. Mad love and respect to everyone passing through. Please forgive me if I ain't paying attention to the chat itself. So I'm just really focusing because I've got to get this information over to you because Mini Market Maker will be expecting me to pick her up. So here we go. VWAP, ladies and gentlemen. Price is at the VWAP. So there's in principle nothing for us to do. Why? Because the VWAP is the level ground, all right? This is where the institutional traders and bankers use the VWAP itself to establish whether they are going to sell into premium or buy at a discount, okay? Now, paying attention to Bitcoin, we must have a look at the delta. On the way down in this current zone, you can see the delta's coming in at 501, 135, 357. We've also got 100, and we've also got 190 inside that zone. But look at the delta for the positives. You can see you've got mad liquidity there at 469. They're holding this range and a little bit of divergence right there where as price is rising, the delta is now 267. So what they're doing is now they're trying to buy more Bitcoin at the lowest point so that they can look to try and shift out and start coming into the liquidity and the interest of traders inside of this zone. Look at the range, 23,400 and 23,240. We know there's a stack of liquidity inside that area there, ladies and gentlemen. We know the liquidity is present, which will then make sense as to why Bitcoin is likely to come up and hit that range. The only thing that will cause Bitcoin to drop down, ladies and gentlemen, is if Mr. Market Maker has trapped enough traders with the belief that he's got more commitment to the upside so that he can get his shorts filled at the highest possible point for him to come down and rip into the range. As long as price maintains the balance above the 5 and 13 EMA, then we would be of the understanding that Mr. Market Maker is looking to send price towards points in the chart where he's able to get paid from previous positions that he had opened back in the day. Okay? This is our range. Anything can happen inside of this zone, guys. Please be very careful with the Brinks box. Now, the Brinks box itself is where price speeds up. There are two things you can do in New York. New York is famous for two reversals. You're either going to see price from the Brinks box formulate a move, up, down, move, set first reversal, drop, second reversal, continuation. That's usually the dynamic of what happens in the US session. It's the most busiest time of day, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see right now, Bitcoin looks like it's about to bring the fire. It looks like it wants to bring the fire. Nasdaq is moving up. Euro USD is moving up. It looks like we're going to have ourselves a wonderful day until Mr. Market Maker decides to say to us, not on my watch. Steve is in the market, ladies and gentlemen. Steve is close by. And I haven't been speaking to Steve for a little while because he knows that he can't get me fooled. You know, Steve is the market maker that I know. I'm quite close with Steve. And it's not Steve Mowry, it's Steve. All right? He ain't giving me his surname. Well, I know his surname, but I can't reveal that. But it's Steve. So if you're wondering who Steve is, ladies and gentlemen, he likes to call during the live streams. And whenever he calls, there's usually a move that happens in the chart. We haven't had no call from Steve lately. And I feel like he's kind of cheesed off because we seem to be seeing Bitcoin showing some great moves to the upside. Steve is the bear. Steve is the guy who marks it down. Steve sets the traps. And hybrid traders are always going to be cautious of Steve. So jokes aside, let's concentrate on what's going on right here. We've got a collection of liquidity coming in now. We've got 20 minutes past 2. Let's just have a look at what's going on across the board. How are the stocks faring today? Pre-market, okay, nothing much happening there. Let's go to the economics. Sorry, not there. Let's go over to futures section right here. Okay, then. Right, that makes sense. Right, listen. When the Nasdaq, if you can see here, this is the S&P trading like this, yeah? Yesterday, the S&P gapped up and it closed at 4,023, all right? We would anticipate, based on the way price is moving right now, if S&P can continue to move up, okay, from this point, we would understand that there would be a bit of a gap up. So it actually has 10 minutes to move aggressively up to induce a gap up in the chart. All right. Now, there are a lot of people that are anticipating Bitcoin to drop from this zone. OK, be very careful, because although Bitcoin is showing signs and promise of moving up, the Brinks box is going to set up the narrative for them to drop lower. A fast move from this zone will trigger that. We've already had bad news come out for the dollar itself. So the principle says that the dollar index is trading lower. Bitcoin has free roam to move up. Gold is moving up. Happy days. At the same time, you've got USDT. Where's it at? Full recovery of the green vector candles in this zone. Is it going to start making its way back down towards that green vector candle that we had a conversation about a couple of days ago, ladies and gentlemen? Happy days if it does do that. All right? Going back up, Euro USD, climbing up slowly but surely. USD JPY making a nosedive. Aussie Yen also moving lower. USD CAD stabilizing. GBP USD looking to come up towards that 22 zone. It really needs to break that 22 zone. Go over to Ethereum. You can see Ethereum is doing great. It's already hit its last week's high. It's already going to be now working into previous vectors in the chart. So look at Ethereum. Get the 4-hour time frame up. Complete swift recovery of Ethereum. This is where the liquidity resides, guys. So there's every reason for them to move towards this zone because there's money there for them. If they move towards this zone at speed, listen to this. If they move towards this zone at speed for Ethereum, all right, then we are in the midst of a stop hunt, which could lead to a move back down. So please be very cautious, all right? Once the market's open, we don't have nothing to worry about other than the core price index that comes out tomorrow. And the core price index says it's the Federal Reserve's primary inflation measure. Inflation is more important to the currency valuation because rising prices lead to the central bank to raise interest rates out of respect for their inflation containment mandate, all right? Well, they are projecting 0.5, okay? It came in at 0.3 last time. All right, so there was a bit of a reduction. Now, will this actually factor in the idea of oil? Will it stipulate the descent in oil? Because if it does show that the actual price itself is coming down, then the Fed will be justified in its inflation. But people are saying, Fed watchers are saying that the Fed has got it wrong. So it's all down to what the market's going to do. And it looks like the market is showing that narrative to break higher because they're always going to factor in price action in the future now. That's how it works. Let's pay attention to Bitcoin on the smaller time frame, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some commitment coming in, so let's have a look at what we can get from Bitcoin today, guys. Here we go. Right, let's bring this up. Cool. Karen. Tino, Bitcoin and Ethereum have green vector candles from last night. Would they recover it first, then move back up? This is where the idea of the Brink session is going to reveal if that's going to be the case or not. Okay? Because right now you can see that the dominance of the dollar is fading. If you pull up the actual dollar index itself on the 1-hour time frame, check this out. Dollar index on the 1-hour time frame, you will see, where is it? Go to capital.com, make sure it's capital.com. You can see that we've got this imbalance right here on the dollar index, but we also have a wick down below. There is not so much a wick, but we have this area here, last week's low, where the interest of the dollar is likely to come into at this point. So from a technical standpoint, we can see that the dominance of the dollar is now starting to fade. That would tell us that traders are now seeking risk, all right? However long it's going to take and however long it's going to last for. They need to kill the idea of going to the dollar for safety and start putting on risk, which then gives room for the Nasdaq, the S&P, Nasdaq and S&P to move higher to start gaining some ground. 4-hour time frame is showing a lot of strength. We've got these previous wicks right here. If the Nasdaq can break beyond 12,697, happy days for the Nasdaq, and they'll be coming into the previous pools of liquidity. Everything is showing that they want to come back and test these narratives of liquidity in the zone. If, like I said to you, if today they spike up at speed, prepare yourself for a retrace sharply back down. We want them to do it slowly. That's what we want them to do. We don't want them to go and hit the move to the upside with speed to trap traders to buy, and then they just sharply move it back down again. This move right here could have been the start of that, but it was led to a stopping volume candle on the chart. So we may have an understanding that price is going to start moving up from this point. They've already recovered the blue vector candle. They haven't tapped into the red vector candle. We are above the psychological high. By principle of the whole and half number, would you go in the assumption that they're preparing to build shorts, or are they preparing to build longs? Mark off the whole and half number to understand if that's going to be the case. What do you see them doing more of? We are starting to see a collection of stopping volume candles appearing right here, up here as well. Here, we've got a big stopping volume candle right here where they hit price low at speed, took advantage of the traders who went long, made them pay the price, got traders to go short, and simply reversed it back in the same succession. That tells me Mr. Market Maker is doing something in this zone, ladies and gentlemen. And the only nearest point in the chart would be Asia's high right there for them to test the narrative of traders to step in at this point in the chart. Does that make sense, guys? I know I'm going on crazy and what have you, but I'm trying to revert this information, put this information out to you continuously. Down below, 22,600. We've got 635 Bitcoin. Earlier, it was about 525. So we've got to be aware of that zone. Let me have a look at a couple of your questions. Mike Dutch, what's good? Bellaby, what is happening? Amir, Helen, what is good? All you wicked people, Believer, what is happening? All new members of the channel, welcome, welcome. I hope you all enjoy the information and that you can make something of it. And if you are new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe, guys. All right. And a quick one as well. If you're going to consider joining the Patreon, where you can take advantage of all these masterclass sessions, get involved with the community and what have you, just be mindful. Don't join it before the end of this month. Wait until the start of a new month. Okay, wait until the 1st or the 2nd. That way you ain't going to get charged twice by Patreon. All right, it's a pain, but just don't do it, guys. Wait until the start of a new month. That way you know you're safe. All right. Okay, now listen. Based on the way Bitcoin's moving, the futures markets which open in 4 minutes time, this is usually a good sign of volatility. We have got compression in the chart. We are waiting for, I personally want them to come and spike down to the psychological high to test that narrative to make me understand that they're getting ready to move higher. That's what I want. Because there's too much compression inside of this zone, ladies and gentlemen. Way too much. All right? If we go onto the, if we go onto the higher, man, what is going on? If we go onto the higher time frames right here, guys. Yes, there is a vector candle here. All right? Let's not deny that. But the 200 EMA is right here. Now, ask yourself this question if you were a market maker. Am I going to run price back down here at the prospect of missing out of building shorts at a higher point? I know that if I go back up to this 24,000 zone, that means I'm able to grab more shorts at a higher point. Well, if I know that at this point right here, I've got myself $3 billion worth of longs trapped or long liquidations, all right? If I move it up to here, I might be able to inherit another $2-3 billion on top. So that means I'm able to make a killing of rejecting the 200 EMA on the idea that people believe that price is going to break above the 200 EMA and start working its way back up into this vector candle. Principle would say we would love Bitcoin to come up into this zone. But what I'm trying to get across to you guys is to help you think like the market maker. What does the market maker want the retail trader to think? Every time you go to buy something in cryptocurrency, you are buying into a pool of liquidity. Your orders are being matched up by Mr. Market Maker. He would not cease to exist if you do not exist. Remember, these exchanges were created because they wanted more volume of people trading, because the marketplaces were only available for institutional funds, banks, high net worth individuals. Well, when they opened the doors for the retail trader, now we've got millions and millions of people who think that they can come to the marketplace and pull liquidity out of it. Okay? So always ask yourself. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some movement in the chart from good old Bitcoin. Seems as though the dollar index looks like it's still struggling and it can't make its way back up. Full recovery of that green vector candle. Euro USD on its way back up to recover the red vector candle at the top side of 1.02290. We've got liquidity at 23,320. And as long as it stays static, guys, they're going to eat that liquidity. 623 Bitcoin at top side of 23,320. And then again at 23,520, we got 488 Bitcoin waiting to be eaten alive by Mr. Market Maker. We want that to be the case, because if you are making money on any of these moves, ladies and gentlemen, we want to pay ourselves. It's nice to come to the live and sit there and be looking at the chart and projecting out where are you likely to see price go, and you put your money where your mouth is and you take advantage of the volatility. But it's pointless doing that, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have any desire to take any money away from it by paying yourselves. I will say it every single day. I will do it till the end of time, guys. I will keep telling you, pay yourself, pay yourself, pay yourself. Because I made that mistake of seeing so many times that I've taken trades, I've made a ton of money off it, and I've lost it because I never paid myself. And I ain't gonna let you guys do that. I'm saving you in principle a good 7 years of BS where you don't have to go through that. If someone's there saying to you, pay yourselves, no one went broke taking a profit. And you know what? There's a lot of guys in the channel that will say, I paid myself today, Tino. I bagged myself 300%. I paid myself, Tino. I bagged myself 60%. I paid myself, Tino. It's a nice thing to see. Make it your commitment. Come to the channel. Comment on any video and say, I paid myself. I paid myself. Use the channel as a place for you to journal. Talk about your trading experience. Get going with it. Talk to people about it, because 95% of traders lose in this game. Yet there's only two options that they can take. It can either go up or it can either go down. It's a 50-50, ladies and gentlemen. It's not like you're playing roulette where it's a 35-1 chance of you hitting a number. Man, the odds are in your favor, yet why do 95% of people lose? It's all psychological, ladies and gentlemen. It's all down to how much liquidity you decide to put down. How much risk are you going to take? Is your risk factor going to allow you to allow Bitcoin? If we favor Bitcoin to move to the upside, what if Bitcoin from this point right now collapses, bounces off the psychological low and moves back up? Is your leverage going to allow you to absorb that? That's why I say to you, try your hardest to come away from the game of leverage unless you understand exactly what leverage is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin seems to be moving. We got a bag of liquidity right there. 937 Bitcoin getting put into the chart, but it's not been taken yet. Wait, bang, taken. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. 1,439 Bitcoin absorbed. Delta is there. Pay attention, guys, because we've got liquidity coming in. Be mindful. We want to see some more red liquidity coming in because that's commitment from big boy traders trying to place orders in the chart. Nice move by Bitcoin. We want to see them take out Asia's sessions high. This is what we want to show proof of the move, ladies and gentlemen. Euro USD moving up. Nasdaq is taking an absolute moon to the sky. Moon to the sky. What a guy. Dollar index taking that. I can't keep up with you, man. Oh my days. I can't do it anymore. My throat is killing me, man. Oh. Look, man, you know what I'm going to do from now on? I'm just going to come to the chart and say, happy days projection zone. Have yourselves a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll be checking in with you later. Man. But no, we said it. We want the fire, guys. We want the fire. Now be careful. Remember what we said about Delta. Big Delta pushing price up. There's actually been a reduction inside of this. Pay close attention. That was at 1,439. It's now gone down to 1,076. Okay, so be mindful. We've got commitment coming in. The Delta's working hard right now. There's liquidity for them to come and grab. Is this the point they turn, or is this the point where they continue higher for a little bit longer just to get more traders to commit? Remember, Asian session high. We are working towards next vector candle zones. If the narrative is to continue higher, ladies and gentlemen, the New York futures markets have been opened, and I didn't even pay attention to it. And now we've got the nice move up. Be careful over the next few moments. Also at 3 p.m. is magic hour. But listen, there's no news coming out today. There's nothing that can rock the markets. No FOMC, no nothing. Traders know exactly where they stand. So now we're going to get back into trading, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't got the fear of Fed saying anything, Powell saying anything. No interest rates being declared, not for at least another 3 months until they decide to increase the rate at that point. Now you're going to start seeing things are going a little bit quiet. They're not going to be talking about FOMC up until the point where they do decide to come out again and tell us exactly what they plan on doing with inflation. Hopefully we see oil dropping down. That's what we want to see, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go, Bitcoin pulling back. This is on the 1 hour time frame. Let's get to the 5-minute chart just to make sense of this movement. Have we got any vector candles pulling away from the zone? Here we go. Look on there. Come on. Here we are. Blue vector candle, full recovery. That is a strong sign right there. The more time they spend coming back in to recover the vector candles after they've appeared, that's a good sign that things will look to try and trend further away from that zone because they've already done the trap, they've made their money, and now they're looking to work towards the next zone. Asian session high is where the next side of liquidity resides. If Bitcoin can't break that point, then we're likely to see it come and roll over for a little bit more, okay? But as long as it comes up into this zone, we will have more information about their intention. We'll have a nice deviation away from the moving average, as you can see on the 15-minute time frame. 50 EMA, where is it? There you go. It's now testing the narrative of moving away from the 50 EMA, which is the 13 EMA on the 1 hour time frame, which means that we haven't had a test of the 50 EMA for a little while. And as long as they stay above the 5 and 13 EMA, ladies and gentlemen, the trend is showing that it's moving higher. Some of you guys might be looking at divergences right now, so of course be mindful. As long as they break higher with a clean break up, then things like the TDI will show you price outside the volatility band, and then you'll be waiting for it to come back into the volatility band. Okay? Man, my days. Let's have a look. Nasdaq, 3% move, insignificant, 2% downside likely, recession confirmed, earnings are dismal. But this is the thing. If earnings are dismal, all right, but now we know where we stand with the FOMC. If the readings for inflation ain't as bad as they're making them out to be, the markets will always dictate traders' intention. Why? Because we're dealing with hedge funds here and institutional traders that buy stock, all right? They have to be seen doing something, okay? It's usually at the worst time when the market reverses, you know? Look at Bitcoin. Come on, BTC. Show me what you got. Give me that vector, man. Stop taking the mick. Give me that vector. Come on, Bitcoin. Where are those orders? Are they going to get eaten? Come on, Bitcoin. Are we going to see them come and take that liquidity? We got 422 Bitcoin right there. Earlier on, when we saw that order coming in right there, that could be an indication of potentially movement higher. But how long for? They've started the narrative of the delta. There's one zone right there. Now we would expect them to start moving up again and bring in more delta to lift the bids, to lift the ask. Two pulls, 408 Bitcoin there at 22, around about the 23,300. And then, of course, 523 Bitcoin at 23,480. They just cancelled it. Oh, my days. Okay, then. 1,943 of you beautiful people are passing through and giving me your time. But only 451 of you people have Will Smith the like button. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you see, be sure to Will Smith the like button. That's all you need to do. But more importantly, pay yourselves. You know what it is, guys. You know how it is. Thursday. It's Thursday going to do it for us, man. Come on, Thursday. Come on, Bitcoin. Make that move. Show me that liquidity. Bring in the fire, Bitcoin. Inside of this zone, there's commitment by traders. If they can move price towards that zone, they will trigger interest. Think of the market maker. Where can he move price to get another fill? Yeah? Look at what's going on. Here we go. If this doesn't turn into a vector candle within 8 minutes, maybe a bit of a stalling move. Okay? It needs to turn into a vector candle. It's got 8 minutes to turn. And if it can't turn, maybe on the smaller time frames, it may actually turn. Let's go on to the 5-minute time frame just to see if we can get that. Man, my throat is killing me. Midweek reversal. Evan the Evolve. The midweek reversal. Okay? This is what we anticipate on a Thursday. But the midweek reversal, if there is still movement in the chart, we will know if the midweek reversal is going to take its place if it breaks down from the 5 and 13 EMA on the 1 hour time frame. Right now, they're not doing that. Look at the 1 hour time frame. Have you any reason to believe that if you are in a long and you've been in a long since yesterday, what reason would you have to close your trade right now? You wouldn't, because price is not breaking down. We're waiting for them to break down. Are they going to make their way into that recovery of that vector candle? Let's go. Let's go. Let's see. Are they going to do it, ladies and gentlemen? Come on, Bitcoin. Bring us some happy days, man. You've been miserable for the past 6 months since November. So start doing some interesting things, man. Come on. Nasdaq pulling down, Euro USD holding. Let's have a look. The dollar index is stabilizing, not really doing much. I believe it's going to be at 3 p.m. when we get the movement, ladies and gentlemen. And that's, of course, when I have to go and pick up my daughter, 3 p.m., guys. But the takeaway for you from this live stream, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty simple, all right? Whenever you are looking to exploit a certain zone in the chart, remember what the Brinks box is about. There's liquidity up here for them to take. We know Thursday is a midweek reversal point. We know that they've initiated a fast move down here, come back up, recovered that blue vector, holding the daily open, and they've spent a long time at the daily open trying to balance the chart. All right? There is a lot of people coming in. So the principle would say if Mr. Market Maker is going to reverse price from this point, expect a fast move up to come down. Okay? 3 p.m. would see that narrative. This is where liquidity is sitting. We have this imbalance right here of this wick. We haven't had a retrace to the 50. As long as they stay above the 5 and 13 EMA, things are good. If they start breaking down, consider taking profits if you have been taking advantage of this move to the upside. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be doing a video for tonight, and it's going to be a lesson on understanding how to project Bitcoin again. All right, I'm going to look at a couple of other things to help you understand how to do it. But more importantly, guys, if you are new to the channel, say it one more time. Be sure to like and subscribe. And if you haven't downloaded the indicators, pinned to the top of the chat is the access to the Traders Reality website. So you can pick these indicators up free of charge, get to the Discord, get with the pattern watchers. And I'll be checking in with you beautiful people later on today. Trade safely, guys. Mad love and respect. And I will be speaking to you later on tonight. Take care of yourselves, family. Peace.